Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast for today. My name is Natalie Ledwell, and today my broadcast is all about happy money. I'm actually going to be talking about a specific book that a friend of mine has just written and released. It's published right now, and what the definition of happy money really is, and unhappy money, and how we can create a flow of money into our life. Now, I think we could all do with a little bit of flow of money into our life. So I'll be sharing some tips with you about that and talking all about Ken and his book, my good friend Ken Honda. So if you are here on the broadcast, please let me know that you're here. Say hi, let me know where you're from. So I can give you a little cheerio and say hello to you. And don't forget, if there's anything that I say during the broadcast that kind of resonates for you, that really lands for you, make sure that you click the little heart or the like button there so we can see, that things are resonating and that everything's landing for you, which is great. And don't forget to share the video. By doing that, it makes it easier for you to reference the information because the video goes to your timeline. It also means that you get some positive Facebook juju, and we get some positive Facebook juju. And if you share the video, it's not like you leave the video, it just gets, shared on your page. So thank you for doing that, guys. So let me say a few hellos. Terry Johnson from SoCal. Hey, Terry, good to see you. Good to see Malcolm Free, my friend from Texas. Good to see you, my friend. Petra Schwab. Hi, Petra. How are you, darling? As you can see, I'm not in my usual place again. Still down in Cancun at the moment at the Dr. Joe Dispenza workshop. So I actually got a little bit of outdoor time, so I'm sort of sporting a little bit of a tan right now. So probably why I'm looking nice and brown. So make sure that you say hi. And if there's something particular about money that you struggle with, share that here in the comment box. So we can go through and answer that for you as well. But today what I do is actually share some tips on how you can create happy money and how to know what's in your wallet and how to, if you have unhappy money in your wallet, how to actually transform that transform that into actual happy money, what that means. Good to see my friend Ava Charlotte here. Hi, Ava. Good to see you, darling. Holly from Colorado. Great to see you here too, Holly. Great to see you here as well. So I suppose we should really start with what is the definition of happy money and what is unhappy money. Let me start with the definition of that first. So happy money is the kind of money that either you receive or that you give that has a positive vibration that's infused into it. So how do you do that? Well, it could be money that you've used to buy a gift. It could be money that you've used to save up for something for the family. It could be a donation, something where you're actually using the money to help other people. And it could also be money that you've received for services that you have rendered that people are really grateful for. People go, oh my God, I'm so, you are the best at this, thank you so much. You've changed my life. I love this dress that you made. I love this bread that you cooked, whatever that is. And people are very gratefully paying you for your services. So that's the definition of happy money. Now, unhappy money is the kind of money that has either been given or received where you are stealing, you're scamming, maybe someone's paying you for your services, but they're not happy with the services that you rendered, so they're doing it quite begrudgingly. It could be anything where it's used for things that are infused with low energy frequency. Now, as you know, if you've been watching my broadcast for a while, high energy frequencies are all our high energy emotions. Our low energy frequency, obviously all the negative emotions and it's interesting, and Ken goes into in his book how we infuse our money with specific energies and how, depending on the energy that our money is infused with, how that attracts more of the same type of money. Okay, so I'm going to go into that a little bit further. Let me just say a few more hellos before I go on. Misty Frank Jager, hello from Central Oregon, and Lynette Butt. Great to see you here again too, darling. That's wonderful. Okay, so when it comes to energy, so Ken Honda, let me just tell you a little bit about Ken. So Ken is a good friend of mine. We are both members of a group called the Transformation Leader Council. Ken is actually Japanese. He lives in Japan, in Kyoto. And the thing is, he is one of these gentlemen who has been very successful in his own right. He actually retired at a very young age, I think about 29 years old. And he has sold over 7 million books, like 7 million books. He's one of the leading, personal development, transformational leaders in Japan. And his mission is to really help people. And he thought his life was going to sort of calm down a little bit, but he realized the importance of it was to educate people about what money is and how we can create money flow in our lives. So this is what his book, Happy Money, is all about. So if you get an opportunity, I want you to, there's the link that I clicked at put at the top of the page here. You can actually click that and go through and order Ken's book, because it is amazing. It actually teaches you how we can change the frequency of our money. So if we're looking at money as energy, as you know, everything is made of energy. So we want to make sure that it is fused with the right kind of energy, like we were saying before, which is the difference between happy money and unhappy money. So why we infuse money with different energies is something that comes from our money wounds. So as you know, if you've been here watching for a while, our money wounds really come from, our past programming. And I'm sure that all of us that are here on the broadcast right now, or who are watching the recording of this, will have a story about money from our childhood that has really influenced the way that we look at money, the way that we act around it, whether we're someone that holds on to it or whether we're someone that feels like it's sand going through our fingers, and how we choose to believe that money, and how worthy we are of receiving money. So, I know that if you're here on this broadcast, that you have a story about that. And so in Ken's book, Happy Money, what he does is actually addresses that particular, the money wounds, and helps you to understand how to release those specifically. Why it is that we're looking at creating money, and the wounds that a lot of us have to deal with when we're coming past that. And if you, like most people, what we find is that, we always, because of our money wounds, we seem to have this negative energy that we put to our money. When it comes to paying bills, we may be in a position where we're always begrudgingly paying the bills. Or, when bills come in, we instantly go into stress, where we're concerned about how do we get the money to pay for this? How are we going to do this? And it's like, oh my God, when this, like an electricity bill or utility bill comes in, we instantly go into a knee-jerk reaction or a knee-jerk thought process of seeing that as a negative thing, rather than seeing it as a positive thing, the fact that we actually have electricity, or that we have gas in our home, or that we have, cable TV, or that we have the internet of which we can watch the videos like this. So, it's when we put that negative emotion around our money, what we're doing is creating unhappy money in our lives and in our wallets. So what we want to try and do is shift that into a more positive energy. So how do we do that? Well, there are a couple of ways that we can do that. And when it comes to, I've heard Ken talk about this particular situation. And he says, arigato money in, arigato money out. And his money mentor actually taught him about this, so that as money comes into his life, he says, thank you, arigato, okay, which is Japanese for thank you. But then also, as he's letting the money flow out to pay for bills or for services or donations or whatever that is, he says arigato again. So it's thank you on the way in and thank you on the way out. So always being grateful for the money flow that's going through our lives, whether it's a trickle or whether it's a flow, but the more that we can be grateful and surround money with these positive frequencies, then what we're doing is creating this money flow in our lives, right? And it's all about keeping the flow. I remember a story that a gentleman told me. I don't know whether I should be saying this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. But this is several years ago. Glenn and I were on a vacation in Africa, and we were in Kenya on safari, and we were at one of the camps. And one of the gentlemen there works for, and I won't say who it is, but he works for a Russian billionaire. And this particular man was in charge of, building the ships for this particular billionaire. Now, this billionaire had several ships already. I think he had 5 or 6 of them, and he was building another one, you know, and this guy said to me, he said, mate, like, why do you want to build another one? You've already got, you know, these 5 others, and it takes a lot of money to maintain you know, these kind of things, you know. And what this gentleman said to him was like, he goes, we have to keep the money flowing. He said, what we're doing is creating hundreds of jobs, and we'll be creating jobs after that for the people that are servicing the ship. He goes, we have to keep the money going, have to keep the, you know, process going. So when you can think about, you know, the money that you have in your life, is there a flow there? And I know that by reading Ken's book, Happy Money, he teaches you how to maintain this amazing flow, and how to see money as energy that we can use as a flow through our life. Okay, so making sure that you keep that flow going. And those people who have wealth, well, let's not say all of them, but a lot of people that have wealth, that have, you know, the ability to keep that going, they understand how important that flow is. So let me share with you a couple of tips of what you can do to be able to keep this flow. And I know that I've, you know, in the past have shared different things. Like for me, it's all about, you know, if I'm at the parking meter, I'll put some extra coins in there to make sure that, you know, the person behind me, you know, gets a surprise and doesn't have to pay for parking. I'm always, when I'm in a restaurant, I'll always round up, you know, rather than, you know, working out what the cents is and everything, I'll always round up and make sure that's, you know, a little bit extra, especially if it's great service, because I want to be grateful for the service that was given. You could also do things like, you know, loving your work. If you're providing a service that people are paying you for, infuse that service, you know, with your passion, you know, with your purpose. You know, do it in a way that you really feel like you are presenting the best version of yourself, and really providing that service in a way that that people are really going to appreciate that. So then the money that you receive for those particular services, or the goods or the products or anything that you're creating, then is happy money that's coming back into you. So that's another really great thing to do. And, you know, I know that if you were on the broadcast last week, you would have heard me tell the story about you know, how early in the week I had a couple of unexpected large invoices come in from my contractors for about this renovation that I'm doing. And, you know, what I could do from there is, you know, like I said, I started feeling like I go into a downward spiral, but I took 3 deep breaths and went into my visualization, saw myself living in the apartment and how I was going to feel when I was there. So I shifted my energy. Then I actually had 2 ideas that came through, so I was able to, you know, to solve that situation. But the worst thing I could do now is go, okay, I'm acting from a place of scarcity. So every time I have to pay out more money, that I'm doing it from a place of lack or from scarcity, or the fact that I don't think there's going to be enough. You know, I'm still doing everything that's getting paid, and then the money that's going through and flowing through this particular project, everything I'm doing is from a place of gratitude. And what I also do is make sure that before I pay the bill or whatever that is, I'm already seeing myself using that table. I already see myself sitting in that couch. I already see myself out on that balcony with the beautiful tiles or whatever that is. And so when you can do just that little shift, again, what you're doing is infusing that money with positive frequency. Okay, let me say a few more hellos while I'm here as well. Bet Wilder, good to see you, Bet. And Christine, good to see you, Christine Norris. Jackie Dunn for Connecticut. Hi, Jackie. Naha, I think it is, from Denmark. Good to see you, darling. Ibrahim, good to see you as well, my friend. Sabine, hi, Sabine. Good to see you. Susan Ralph. Hey, Susan, all the way from Aussie. Oh, Kathy Cook. Hi, Kathy. Haven't seen you for a while, darling. Really great to see you here. And Heather Elise. Heather and Jean say hi from New Brighton in Minnesota. Excellent. So, yeah, so, I mean, is any of this, what I'm sharing with you now, like resonating with you? Can you see how we can infuse our money with happiness and with this positive frequency? Because the more that we infuse our money with this positive frequency, the more that we attract happy money back to us, you know, and then we create that flow. So it's really helping you to do that. And the other thing too, I mean, we can all do this. And I, like, whenever I'm paying bills, paying credit cards, I'm always in a state of gratitude when I'm doing it, you know, especially if it's something for our utilities. You know, think about it. You know, if we have electricity, if we have running water, you know, if we have gas, if we have a roof over our head, we're better off than billions of people on this planet. And so being able to shift our frequency and just be grateful for when we're doing that is super, super important. So, oh, long gone. We've got lots of people coming in. Tanya Cooper, good to see you, Tanya. Anna Paula, good to see you here. Demarcus from Wisconsin, good to see you. Yeah, great to see you, Kat. Wonderful. Oh, and Anka from Romania, great to see you here as well. So like I said, Happy Money, I'm going to actually put the link in here so you can actually purchase the book through that link. Ken has just released the book now. It is on Amazon at the moment. And like I said, he's sold over 7 million books. He is an amazing author. And the detail that is gone into this book to cover every aspect of how we see money, how we feel about money, how we understand the flow and the mechanics of what that is, really getting to identify, what money means to us. And you've heard me talk about this before. When we're doing our visualizations, we're not visualizing cash. We're visualizing what money represents for us. He also talks about and helps you to move through your money wounds so that you know how to, very triumphantly go through that so that the relationship that you have with money is healthy, that it's happy, and that you're not living from a place of scarcity. He actually talks about the myth of what scarcity really is and how that really, it doesn't really exist. And he goes through a lot of the stories that he talks about with his mentors. And he's had an incredible life. He's a beautiful author, and I highly, highly, highly recommend his book. So make sure that you click on the link and purchase the Happy Money from Ken Honda, my good friend, and really get to, if you're in a place where you're finding that you're struggling with money and that you have this love-hate relationship, or that you're not sure whether money loves you, then this book is like a definite how-to, all-inclusive way to be able to move through that and have, happy money, happy life, and pure happiness in your life. So guys, I want to thank you all for joining me today. I can see Vladimira here as well. Good to see you here, darling. I look forward to chatting to you all again. Now next week, I won't be broadcasting tomorrow because I'll actually be busy here with the Dr. Joe event. But I will be back again next Tuesday. So Tuesday at the 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be back then. So I look forward to chatting to you all again. Have an amazing weekend. And make sure you download the book. Great read, especially for the, coming up over the weekend. And I look forward to chatting to you all again soon. All right, thanks everyone. Mwah. Okay, bye for now.